Back in October of last year, Riot Games announced that they would be starting to work on turning all future League of Legends related media into canon lore. Now, apart from this potentially retconning the last 20 years of League related lore, this was a relatively well-received chunk of info coming from a team that has, for the most part, not done the best of jobs when it came to lore decisions. Yes, I'm looking at you, Sentinels of Light. In fact, they even stated that Song of Nunu, the Riot Forge title set in the frigid lands of the Freljord, would also in fact be canon lore. So when this last week, Laura DeYoung took to Twitter stating that Riot Forge games were not strictly canon and that we were confused by them saying it was all canon from this day on, the internet kinda lost its mind a little bit over in the comments. So that's where I come in to bring you the news front and center and hopefully start a discussion about what is even going on over at Riot HQ regarding the lore. Were we all confused about what they said back in October? Was Riot Forge's future titles like Song of Nunu and Bandle never canon? Is anything canon anymore? Or is Riot Games just gaslighting us when it comes to everything that they've said in the past? In this video, we're going to take a look at the facts, reference what they said, and take a good hard look at where the lore for the world of Runeterra will potentially be going in the hopefully near future. Oh, and did you know over 90% of you are not subscribed to the channel? That's embarrassing for me and pretty much my whole family now, and something you can resolve in a quick click of a button. So smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into the juicy details regarding Riot's future lore. First things first, we need to take a look at the facts. In October, during League's regularly scheduled dev update, Brightmoon and Medler handed the mic off to Laura DeYoung, the head of IP Creative. They went over how their lore in the past has introduced inconsistencies and how they wanted to change this moving forward into the future. The largest part of these changes being implemented was them saying that
going forward, from today, all new storytelling is going to be part of one shared canon,
and that this would be
reflected across everything that Riot makes.
Now, this I think is where the confusion really starts to begin. How do we define everything that Riot makes? And more importantly, is Riot Forge part of this umbrella of everything that Riot makes? Initially, when watching the video, I just assumed it would not include Riot Forge games because they are made by separate, smaller indie development studios. But then Brightmoon and Medler went on to clarify that this would include future League of Legends cinematics, Arcane, the Netflix animated series, and
the upcoming Forge game, Song of Nunu, is worth highlighting as well. It's canon.
And this is where I think many of us started to fill in the blanks. The Riot Forge game, Song of Nunu, was going to be canon, and this was included in the everything Riot makes moving forward. So if you draw one into the next, you could assume that all future Riot Forge games would be canon, and maybe even potentially the older Riot Forge games, even if that was obviously a long stretch. But at least we knew that Song of Nunu and Bandle, the following Riot Forge games, would be canon, right? Right? Well, no. For clarity, our Forge games allow our partner developers to get creative with our universe and not adhere strictly to canon. We recognize the message, canon from this day on, would be a bit confusing during the months Forge games shipped, but know that we continue to be committed to driving toward consistency going forward. Did we just retcon them saying that everything going forward is canon? I'm not sure this is a good look, and I think this is where it would be great for Riot Games to come forward and really answer what parts of the Forge games are and are not canon, as well as stick to what they said, because the Forge games include some of the most juicy pieces of lore that the world of Runeterra has ever seen, and builds up to probably why most of you are here, the lore for the Riot MMORPG. This lack of commitment to the lore and kind of just everything's up in the air until they decide to change their mind is not really exciting and really disappointing for fans of the lore. I hope this won't sound too negative, but this is one of the reasons I don't care that much about lore anymore. It's so hard to find out what is canon, what is not, or what will be canon in the future. You can love a champ for their lore and the whole thing gets changed. To this, Laura responded, "Fair. And I hope over time we will change your mind. We're working toward a future where we design our universe so you have the ability to believe, but we gotta show it rather than talk about it." And I think that's true. Riot Games does need to show it, and unfortunately, in my opinion and many others, it's currently all talk and no walk. That said, it's only been 4 months since they made the announcement that everything moving forward would be canon, and they've kind of already gone back on that, at least regarding the Riot Forge titles. Hopefully, we can start to see some changes over the coming years leading up to Riot's more PvE and lore-focused games, but I can't speak for everyone. I feel a little worried about what the future of Riot Games lore is going to hold. And that's where I put the mic over to you guys. What do you think? I know it's a short video, but it's an important one to get out there, and I think it would be good to get this information in front of someone at Riot just so maybe we can know what is what. And I know we've been asking it for probably 10 plus years at this point, but it's a little confusing when it comes to Riot Games related lore. So let me know down in the comments below, were we greatly misunderstanding the whole situation regarding future lore? Was Riot Forge games, at least Song of Nunu and Bandle, never going to be canon? Is Song of Nunu canon and Bandle not? Am I just losing my mind and worrying about things that don't matter? Probably. You guys let me know in the comments down below. I will see you all in the next video. My name is Spun. Peace.